What if everything you've been taught about getting what you want is exactly backwards? Think about it. We're told to set goals, visualize, hustle, grind, wanting it bad enough. Chase it until you catch it. And look, that works sometimes. But have you ever noticed the things you chase the hardest often stay out of reach? And the things that come easiest were the ones you kind of let go? That relationship that showed up when you stopped looking. That opportunity you landed when you stopped forcing it. That money that flowed when you stopped gripping it so tight. Coincidence? I don't think so. There's something going on here that nobody's talking about. A counterintuitive principle that flips everything on its head. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Today I'm going to show you the path that actually works. The one that no one taught you. The real one. And fair warning, it's going to feel a bit backwards at first, but backwards is exactly where we need to go. The counterintuitive path to getting everything you want, and why backwards path is the only way that works. Let's go ahead and get started here. The problem with chasing is that we've been sold a story about success. Wanting it, chasing it, catching it, setting goals, making vision boards, hustle until you have it, wanting it so bad that you can taste it. And this works, sometimes. For some people and for some things. But there's a shadow side to this approach that nobody talks about. The harder you chase, the faster it runs. Think about the things you've wanted most desperately in your life, the relationship you've obsessed over, the promotion you killed yourself for, the goal you sacrificed everything to achieve. Now think about what actually showed up easily, the opportunity that fell in your lap, the connection that happened naturally, the success that seemed almost effortless. See the pattern? So here's the chasing paradox. The chased hard and what came easily. What are the feelings that are a bit different? So the desperate energy, then we have the relaxed energy. The tight grip versus loose grip. Attached to outcome versus open to outcome. Often disappointed, often surprised. Again, this isn't coincidence, it's physics. The grip paradox. So Michael Singer talks about this in The Untethered Soul. The more you want something, the more you push it away. And here's why. Wanting is a form of contraction. When you desperately want something, you're essentially saying, I don't have this and I need it to be okay. That energy of lack and need does three things. It creates resistance. You're focused on the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and that gap becomes your reality. Number two here, it clouds your judgment. Desperate people make desperate decisions, and you miss opportunities because you're so tunnel visioned on the one specific outcome. Number three, it repels what you want. People can feel desperate energy. Opportunities can sense it. The universe responds to your state, not your goals. And the counterintuitive truth here, you get what you want by releasing your grip on it, not by wanting it harder. Let's review releasing versus giving up, because a lot of people think this is giving up. And it's crucial to understand releasing is not the same as giving up. So here we have giving up on the left, releasing on the right. I can't have this versus I'm open to this. Stop taking action versus take action without attachment. Resignation versus surrender, from defeat, from trust. Releasing means you still want it, you still work for it, but you're not controlled by needing it. You're playing the game without being desperate to win. I want to share something personal here. I used to be the guy that white-knuckled everything. Every goal, every outcome, every result. I held on so tight, my hands were cramping. And you know what happened? The harder I gripped, the more things slipped out of my fingers. It wasn't until I started letting go. Not giving up, that's different. But releasing my death grip on things had to go. And that's when stuff started clicking. It felt like cheating, like I was doing less and getting more. But that's the paradox. The letting go is the work, the inside out reality. Here's the second counterintuitive principle. Your external world is a printout of your internal state. Most people have it backwards. They think, when I get the money, then I'll feel secure. When I find the relationship, then I'll feel loved. When I hit the goal, then I'll feel confident. But reality works the opposite way. When you feel secure, money shows up. When you feel lovable, the relationships appear. When you feel confident, the goal becomes inevitable. This isn't magical thinking, it's mechanics. The mirror effect. So your external reality is a mirror. It reflects back what you're projecting. If you feel broke on the inside, you'll make broke decisions. You'll attract broke opportunities. You'll repel wealth because your energy doesn't match it. If you feel unlovable on the inside, you'll sabotage relationships. You'll attract people who confirm that belief, and you'll push away anyone who tries to love you. The mirror doesn't lie. It can reflect only what's there. Change what you're projecting, and the reflection has to change. This is why people who win the lottery often go broke. Their external changed, but their internal did not. The mirror eventually corrects itself. Here we talk about the internal shifts that change everything. What you want, internal shift required, and then what changes. So for example, more money, the internal shift required is feel more abundant now, and what changes is the decisions, opportunities, and magnetism. A big one here for relationships, I won't go through all of them, but here, what you'll want is better relationships. The internal shift required is feel worthy of love now, doesn't have to wait. And what changes is who you attract and how you show up. And this is with everything across the board. The external result is always downstream of the internal shift. Fix the code and the output changes automatically. Here's the thing that took me years to understand. I kept trying to change my circumstances to feel better. Better income so I could feel secure. Better relationships so I could feel loved. Better body so I can feel confident. But it's backwards. The feeling comes first, the circumstance follows. When I started feeling secure, the income showed up. When I started feeling lovable, the relationship appeared. When I started feeling confident, the body transformed. I know that sounds like magical thinking, but it's not magic, it's mechanics. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner world. Change the inside, the outcome has no choice but to follow. The non-resistance principle. So here's the third counterintuitive principle. Stop fighting what is. Most people exhaust themselves resisting reality, resisting their current circumstances, resisting their emotions, resisting their thoughts, resisting other people, resisting the past. All of this resistance creates friction, and friction slows everything down. The fastest path forward is to stop fighting where you are. Let's talk about the resistance tax. So every time you resist what is, you pay a tax. What does that look like? Energy tax. Fighting reality drains your battery. Time tax. You stay stuck in the moment instead of moving through it. Clarity tax. Resistance clouds your ability to see solutions. And then finally, opportunity tax. You miss what's available while focused on what's wrong. The math is simple. Resistance never changes the situation, but it only adds suffering to it. What you resist persists. What you accept transforms. The flow state life here. So when you combine all three principles, releasing attachment, fixing the inside, and stopping resistance, something remarkable happens. Life starts to flow. You still take action, massive action even, but the energy behind the action changes completely. Here we have a chart with the forcing energy versus flowing energy. Let's go over a few. Acting from fear versus acting from clarity. Acting from desperation, acting from alignment. Work feels work versus work feels like play. The paradox is when you stop trying so hard, you become unstoppable. I want to be real with you. This isn't about becoming passive. This isn't about sitting on a mountain and hoping things work out. You still take action, massive action, but the energy behind the action changes. Instead of acting from fear, you act from clarity. Instead of acting from desperation, you act from alignment. Instead of pushing, you flow. And here's the wild part. The action becomes fun. When you're not gripping, forcing, resisting, work stops feeling like work. Life stops feeling like a battle. And weirdly, that's when you become unstoppable. Now let's get practical here. This isn't about sitting on a meditation cushion hoping things work out. Here's how to apply these principles in real life. The loosening practice. So pick one thing you're gripping tightly. A goal, a relationship, an outcome, and practice holding it loosely for 1 week. Still want it, still work toward it, but release the desperate need for it and notice what shifts. Number 2, the inside out audit. Ask yourself, what am I waiting to feel until I achieve X? Then ask, what if I started feeling that now? How would I show up differently today if I already felt secure, loved, successful, confident? Number 3, the resistance check. Throughout the day, notice where you're fighting. Fighting your circumstances, your feelings, other people, yourself. Each time you notice, ask, what if I stopped fighting this? What if I accepted it completely and moved towards from there? Number 4, the energy test. Before any action, check your energy. Am I acting from fear or clarity? From desperation or alignment? From forcing or flowing? If the energy is off, pause, recalibrate, then act. Now here's the fun part. Here's what nobody tells you about this path. It's actually enjoyable. The gripping, forcing, resisting approach is exhausting. It feels like pushing a boulder uphill every single day. The releasing, aligning, flowing approach is energizing, and it feels like surfing. You're still moving, still working, but you're riding waves instead of fighting currents. Life becomes lighter, work becomes playful, goals become exciting instead of stressful. And ironically, that's when results accelerate because you're no longer burning energy on resistance. You're channeling all of it into creation. The counterintuitive path isn't more effective, it's more fun. So release your grip, fix the inside, stop fighting what is, and watch everything you want start flowing towards you. So here's what I want you to take from this. The counterintuitive path isn't about doing less. It's about gripping less. It's about fixing the inside instead of rearranging the outside. It's about flowing instead of forcing. Want it, but hold it loosely. Work hard, but release the outcome. Take action, but stop resisting what is. That's the path. It feels backwards because it is backwards. Backwards from what everyone else is doing, which is exactly why it works. Try it for a week. Loosen your grip on one thing you've been chasing. Fix one thing on the inside instead of the outside. Stop resisting one thing you've been fighting and watch what happens. I think you'll be surprised. If you like more of this content, hit subscribe. Thank you very much.